Okay, the last two parts were kind of heavy, so I asked Spirit to give us some good news, because the good news is here. Yeah. The good news is that you fight for yourself. The good news is that you're the kind of person that deserves what they want, can have it. And now you're starting to think that. You're starting to really believe that about yourself. It's not about you having to fight for it, but you are willing to. Okay. So we got the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and I did see the Sun underneath, but we're not going to get into that yet, because this is you taking charge, making change, and ultimately, if you've been thinking about confronting a certain issue, or you had confronted something recently and you're looking back, you're thinking about it a lot, you're worried about how things could unfold, but you are essentially still moving forward willingly, it pays off. It pays off, and ultimately it's not about the other person changing or reacting in a different way, but the payoff is for you, for confirmation, excuse me. The payoff is for you to genuinely know that the sun shines on you, that you have a warmth and a light that is meant to be held and loved and seen and heard and ultimately felt, and that isn't to be taken for granted. Yeah, I feel like you've had some fighting, maybe not even really, but in your head there was conflict, and this is your option now. This is your option now. Be happy with what you've done and said, and keep going. And 222. And ultimately seeing that you do show up in dynamics differently now. Yeah, this was a big Judgment card. Judgment and the Queen of Swords after. I'm not pulling any more cards, even though I saw another one. I'm done. This is you. This is you holding up I'm not taking in any more information. I have made my evaluation, and I trust myself. Yeah, the Judgment and the Queen of Swords. I know what I know, and I know that I am fair. I know this is Swords is Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. This is your brain. These are people who can get in their heads a lot, but ultimately are fair, right? So I feel like if you had been worried about being too harsh, or you'd been worried about like a full stop or 333, like a clear line in the sand, don't, because that ultimately gives you clarity, and that's what happened from this. So I would rejoice. I would rejoice in speaking your truth. I would rejoice in showing up for yourself. And ultimately, that's the alignment that brings in 404, the best response from anybody else, because you want dynamics that love you and fulfill you and see you without trying to change you into something else out of convenience. So this is the option. This is the option. I know I said you had two options, and they're both with the intention that you gear it towards what you want, right? Because there's the fear aspect, and we're not even going to entertain that. Those options, that's where the line in the sand is now. The fact that we are 444, we are not entertaining the fearful options. We are entertaining this makes my relationship stronger, this makes me stronger in other dynamics that I show up in. I speak my mind, I know I'm true, I know I'm honest, and I know I'm not here to hurt anybody. Those are the options. And you choose to what degree you're really going to follow these things, because ultimately that's the goal. Ultimately, it's better relationships. Ultimately, it is having love and favor over all of your relationships so that you can truly shine. So that you can truly shine and feel loved and love freely. This did end on a good note. I'm seeing sunflowers. Copper may be significant. And I see blue skies. I see I see some rocky waters, but I see blue skies. I think ultimately this may have scared you more than you wanted to admit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that anything bad has to happen. I think it's scary to do things differently sometimes, but as you continue to establish this, you've gotten stronger. So maybe this isn't the first kind of conversation you've had like this, or maybe it's one of many conversations that you may have to have regards to certain things. But the point is that you are practicing your skills, you are practicing showing up for yourself and evaluating aspects of relationships that you don't want to be a part of, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to be a part of that relationship, but it means you don't want part in this of that relationship. So whether it is criticism, being mocked, being excluded, feeling ignored, all of these things that you actively get to choose to opt out of. So I'm proud of you, because it's not always easy to acknowledge that there are parts of relationships that you want to keep that need repair. And that is a brave thing to do. So take a breath, maybe cry, but ultimately understand that that's a really good thing, that you don't want to lose this dynamic. You don't want to lose this relationship or this person or people, right? But you do want to show up for yourself, and those two things don't necessarily have to clash. Okay, love you. Bye.